number of items as well, Judge.
Mr. Betterow.
Thank you, Judge.
Honestly, go fuck yourself, sir. You don't say that, okay? You don't lose a trial where a jury acquits someone and finds them overwhelmingly not guilty and say, I gave my sincere obligation to look into this, and I'm telling you all I saw when she's guilty. Again, respectfully, go fuck yourself.
Swear again like that. That was, you know, no, I mean, whatever. That was, I shouldn't have done that.
A few moments later.
You, as a prosecutor, have got to be out of your fucking mind.
Nose.
Dude, Jimmy, look at those ears.
The ears don't bother me as much.
No, I don't trust a man. I don't trust a man with a lobe like that. No,
really,
not a fucking chance.
The mouth is butthole to me.
Very thin, paper thin.
The nose.
Oh, the nose.
The brows.
Well, listen, I will tell you though, I kind of like a fucked up nose on a guy.
I like a big old honker. I like a big nose.
Old nose. Give me that big bitch. You know,
yeah,
like, I'm into it.
Come over here, cluck cluck.
Yeah.
I see some chickens that went moving on up in my biz, cluck cluck. You gotta be with the kids, the kids, the kids, the kids, the kids, kids.
And I go, oop, clutch, clench, kegel. We did it all. And I go, oh, and what happened? And they go, well, we just got 4,000 plus pages, bitch. And I said, stop it. Show me it. Take me to Unimpound Town immediately, if not sooner. So what happens?
The bitch is here.
Why are you at a football game? Are you a Fonz correspondent?
Well, no, because it's only for men over 30. Okay? Have a great night, boys. Fuck off.
It's been 1 week since you looked at me.
Hey, Blues Clues, motherfucker.
Good morning, loveys. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey time. It is January 8th, 2026. And I'm fucking tired. Okay? What was I doing last night? Watching everything. Yeah. Knee deep in content, babe. I thought I would go live with you. And I was like, oh, we're going to have the best time together. No. Because she's watching it. Yeah. I watch it so you don't have to watch it. No, you should watch it. But were we overwhelmed? There was a lot happening last night. I was like, oh. I clutched. I clenched. I giggled. Good morning. Look at comments. Hi, Lauren. Good morning, babe. Look at you with me. Oh, should I have... should I put a hood up? Should I pull a Jimmy? A Jimberly? First thing in the morning? Bam, 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 bam. Oh, what did you miss? Where are you, babe? Good morning. Emily C. No, that's not Emily C. Oh, it's Emily C. in a puppy bonnet. Oh, what did you miss, babe? I'm going to bring you up to speed immediately. Immediately. So last night, it was Bunny After Dark. Jess was on. Great show. Turtle Club is on. Great show. Then the Forensic Room. The Forensic Room brings to us Canton Select Board member Chris Albert. And I was locked in, dialed in, babes. I go, shut the fuck. Shh. Stop talking. Don't look at me. Don't talk to me in that voice. Tell me everything. I go, is he talking about this? Is this really happening? I was about to page Mr. Betterow. I was like, paging Mr. Betterow. Are you seeing this? Is this discovery? What are we doing? What in the actual fuck are we doing right now? Are 4 women potentially screwing up your civil case? No. So I download the video and I'm like, we're in the wild, wild west at this point. I'm thinking to myself, this is a fever dream, as I often say. I'm like, are we here? Am I here? Are you alive? what part of the upside down are we in currently? This was a hoot. So listen, get your asses up. You're the smartest and the prettiest. We are going to read a prayer, and we're going to have one EDM classic bring us to Funky Town. Do you want it? No. Did you ask for it? No. But I did. That's it. Gotta wake up. All of us. Get the F out of bed, bitch. Go. I'm obsessed. That man has brought me more joy since the pandemic than any other. Okay. And here's our prayer. Now let's bring it back. Let's bring it back and say, oh, what are we doing? Yeah. January 8th, 2026. God is saying to you today, do not fear what stands against you. Just as I sent my angel to defeat a mighty army in a single night, I am fighting for you now. You may not see it yet, but I'm working behind the scenes, silencing threats, removing obstacles, and turning the tide in your favor. One move from me can shift everything. One touch can bring the victory you've been praying for. You don't have to lift a finger to fight this battle. Just stand in faith and watch me do what I can only do. Amen. Thank you, Father God. And now, may the world turn in a General Hospital type edition of Julie Carpenter's background from 1997. Let us tuck and roll into a Canton Select Board member interview. Chris Albert. Play.
To that story, you know, of whoever was saying that. So, and it was a family member, right, of the McCabe's. That's why the announcement that Carrie had made for them the other day is saying, like, that's not something we condone, that type of speaking. That's not us. That's a relative. And, you know, which I thought was showing integrity to stand up and say, we don't condone that type of speech because we understand the harassment. And I know, you know, you feel the same way, Chris. You know, showing how your family and what they've been through and how people should not be treated.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Julie.
Oh, no, it's okay. Go ahead. I was just going to say, can you imagine if the defense would have spoken up and said, these people shouldn't be harassed?
Right.
The way this could have been different. And no one from the defense ever said a word. As a matter of fact, David Yannetti said that Aiden Carney was doing God's work.
Yep.
So, and I thought it was interesting too, how it went from yesterday, the post there. First, it was, Chris was laughing. And then yesterday there was a long post that they had put in Turtle Boy's OnlyFans group that Chris sat there and smiled.
Turtle Boy's OnlyFans?
Interesting to me since it's audio only. So I don't know how anyone would know that Chris.
Excuse me. Quick question. Does Aiden have an OnlyFans? Have times got that tough? What kind of content you selling? Sorry.
I saw that.
But, they do this and they repeat lie after lie after lie until it's, people accept it as the truth. And it's very unfair.
Yeah, they just keep giving us examples of how that works. The thing about smiling just cracked me up. I mean, it's part of the course.
Right.
What they do.
Right.
And like Hank said, you tell a lie enough times, it becomes the truth. So.
Right. And they fill in the gaps. And it's funny because you fill in the gap here and be like, yeah, he was smiling. And it's like, it's an audio.
Right.
Like you are filling in the gap, the narrative here, and what you're imagining in your mind.
Right.
Because you have villainized these people so much that you are seeing him smiling on the other end of an audio.
Right.
I mean,
So it lives so large in their minds. Yeah.
Right. And for those that don't know what Spaces is, I guess we should mention. So for those that are not on Twitter, it's this new feature. I think TikTok has it. I'm not too familiar with TikTok, but you can basically have a live conversation that's audio and people can join in and the public can hear. You can listen anonymously, you can listen not anonymously. And there's been some great conversations that have come from it and some weird ones I've clicked on and clicked right out of. Like, what am I listening to? But it has been a good way to connect with people that,
just to connect,
you talk with and tweet on social media and just to hear their voice and to hear them in, sound like a person behind their profile.
It's sort of like a voice channel on Discord. It's very much like that.
Yes, that's right. Discord has it as well.
Yeah.
Ew.
So I think the main thing to end on that, because I don't want to spend too much time on it, but obviously none of the witnesses, Chris included, I didn't want to speak for Chris the other night because I obviously knew he was coming on and that he could speak for himself. But no one condones that. No one. It was disgusting. And, They can't control, just like the blogger's family probably can't control him, who's
Okay, just wanted to stop right there. Okay, a little bit of a boop boop. Yeah. Time out, Kerry, because Mama Llama did make a statement on behalf of the McCabe's that they did not condone the alleged, well, potential death threats to Aiden that was said during a Spaces, and that people were laughing in that space. And she says at some point that she knows that one person did take accountability for laughing. And it just, again, guys, it's the hypocrisy for me, right? Like, you're saying I'm not responsible and Chris is not responsible, or Jen is, or Matt are not responsible for the words of a family member. But you guys attack others when something is said that's out of pocket that we might not agree with, but you hold everyone accountable for everyone else's words. And as far as I know, I have never heard any of the McCabe's or the Alberts or any witness or Higgins or a Nagel. I have never heard any death threats or threats of physical harm, because that's actual witness intimidation, right? That's actually where the weaponized standard, or not standard, statute was supposed to be utilized. If you are saying, I shall harm you because I will harm you, keep hiding so you won't be able to testify. I'm sorry. Am I new? Are you new? Because that's insane. And no one has ever done that I have seen. Had I ever seen it, I would call it out. But this is wild for them to be like, God, I'm sure that the blogger, like that's some insult to Aiden. The blogger's family can't control him. And neither can we on death threats or threats of harm. Okay.
wish death upon more people than I can count. I'm sure his family doesn't feel the same way and wish death upon people. You know, they don't feel the same way, and they were extremely appalled by it. And, you know, everyone included. So
yeah, definitely.
So let's move on to some more fun stuff. We spoke about this.
Let's move on to some
bit,
fun stuff.
I really enjoyed it because for me, watching the trial and watching your testimony and the testimony of all the other witnesses, I got the picture that Canton was a really sweet little town. That was the picture that was painted during the trial to me, because I'm not imagining a conspiracy. And it actually reminded me, I grew up in a town of a similar size. And sometimes when people were drawing conclusions throughout the trial, notably the attorneys, that it was just absolutely outrageous that someone would know the firefighter who showed up to their house, or that, you know, those kind of connections would be unusual. And in a town that size, they're not unusual. And when I was growing up there, I thought it was kind of annoying that everybody knew, you know, everybody would tell my mom if I got in trouble, because it's a small town, you know each other. Right. So I wanted to hear from you what it was like growing up in Canton, what kind of a town Canton was, and what your experience of living there all your life has been like.
Sure. So I think my father moved us out of so I was born in South Boston originally. I'm one of 7 children.
I forgot that he was one of 7. I forgot that. I thought there was 5 for some reason, but I'll have to go back and remember that. But South Boston born, and then their family moved them out to the suburbs, like every American dream, and especially the Massachusetts dream.
My father moved us to Canton when I was about 4 years old. I think it was.
And you're absolutely right, Levy. That was an admission that it was a family member of the McCabe's.
Around 1974. Canton was kind of an up and coming little town. Like I said, I'm one of 7. I went to grammar school. I went to middle school. I didn't go to high school in Canton, but it's kind of a small little community. Everybody knows everybody. People that live in Canton, born in Canton, stay in Canton. People marry their high school sweethearts. People have jobs in Canton that went to Canton High. I mean, it's kind of like a normal occurrence. I mean, small little town of, now it's around 24,000, I think. But obviously when I first got there, it was a lot smaller. But it's just kind of like any other small town in America. I mean, there's people that are teachers at the school, whose husbands are firefighters, or whose husbands are police officers. It's kind of that small town feeling. I love growing up in Canton. It was it's a wonderful place. Still is a wonderful place. It's a great little town.
Hi, Cheryl.
And then of course I brought my children up there. I have 3 children. My oldest, Christopher, my son Colin, who's 21, will be 22. I gotta be careful. And my son Dylan, who's 18. Yeah, so I wanted to stay here. I loved Canton, so I was fortunate enough to buy a home in Canton. All 3 of my children went to Canton Public Schools. That's kind of where we are now. So Canton's a great little town.
So that always resonates with me, Lydia, because I think I live in the next town from Chris, which I think is probably the same size, Chris. Maybe, I don't know.
Similar, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I can say now, and I mean, I grew up here too, but if I got pulled over, for speeding, whatever, any cop that pulled me over, I would know. It's just the way it is. The firefighters I know, I mean, it's just the way small towns are. That's why whenever I would see in the trial or on social media that, oh, this is so crazy, I could never understand what people were talking about. It was crazy to me. And I assume everyone else who lives in a small town has, the same experiences. So that was very strange to me to see that through both trials, I thought.
Okay, so I wanted to address something here, Loveys, because I have like a similar experience, not so much because Waltham was a bigger, like a city instead of a little town. But when you're talking about the benefits of being related to a police officer, specifically in Massachusetts back in the olden days, okay, not less today, but in the olden days, there was something about like maybe you could get let off for a ticket, or maybe on the 8th time you were getting a speeding ticket on the Lowell connector, driving way too fast, okay? And there's a speed trap at the end. You know it. You're going to go and you're going to repent to the honorable traffic court. And your dad's going to make a call, and your dad's going to try to help you out and say, if you speed on that fucking connector one more time, I'm not calling. Okay, he's not calling, but he's also not calling. He's not doing any of it because what is happening? Cut the shit. Your stethoscope can't get you out of this, but it's also like, why does it go down from 50 to 30 that quickly? Anywho, those things are little favors. But if you are honest about an underbelly and a corruption that is within a lot of police departments, with a brotherhood of the olden days specifically. Let's just say, for example, maybe if your dad came home and he was like in a mood, or maybe he had a bad day, and let's say like there was like a physical altercation. And let's say that maybe if the police were called, like he would just get removed and he would never go to jail and he would never get in trouble. And then he would just have to stay out for the night. And then when he came back, he'd be even more mad. So like those are the types of incidences in which it became like the covering for guys, and the thin blue line like becomes dangerous because you want to, like, if there is a crime that is committed, not getting you out of a ticket or whatever, but if there's something going on that's serious in a house or that somebody has perpetrated, you should not cover just because he's an officer and he's a fellow badge holder. And that's a culture, and that has happened for many a decades. Again, I think it's changing now, but that's a truth bomb, and that's a truth serum. And you have to look inward on that. And that they would do, or some would do, I won't say all because that's wrong, but some would go above and beyond to protect their own and not protect the other people whom they were sworn to protect and serve, in my opinion.
It was so odd.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead.
To be honest with you, I could never think of it as any other way because I'm not from a big city. I mean, we're from small town America. So to me, it's like, well, that's normal. You go to Canton High, you become a police officer, a firefighter, a teacher, you go into another profession.
Right.
I mean, that's just me growing up in Canton. Mostly all the police officers, even when I grew up, they were majority of them were from Canton. The majority of the firefighters were from Canton. Obviously, some are from out of town, but it's just how it is. It's normal. I mean, it's just how it is.
Yeah, those ordinary things that just got so twisted. And to me, were like I had a worse fear of getting a ticket when I was a teenager because the chief of police lived on my street, and so I knew I was going to be in trouble. Like I was over there all the time, so I had to be a very good, responsible driver.
Right.
So I get it, but I just found it upsetting that those ordinary things that you love about living in a small town got turned into, something that was supposedly ominous because it's probably some of the things you love about living there.
Oh yeah, I mean, you just know everybody, and growing up, it's like you couldn't go anywhere without knowing someone. I mean, obviously, as time goes on, towns change, communities change. Canton's a little different. Well, it's actually a lot different now than it was when I grew up. It was more of a blue collar town. Now it's it's pretty expensive to live in Canton. So, more younger couples that have bigger jobs, or it's expensive to live in Canton. So you have to have the right job, the right income. But it's just like any other small town in America.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wanted to do one debunking before my next question. Julie, I got to live up to Julie, the queen of debunking on this one. But since you mentioned it, I wanted to bring it up again. The ridiculous comments online and from the attorney about the paint in the garage. And I wanted you to talk about how old that paint is.
So in all honesty, when I saw that, I just thought it was a joke. I'm like, that can't be real. Like, is that really what people online are really thinking? Like that's blood? Like, I mean, clear as day, anybody can tell it's paint. That paint was in there when I was a child. So just put it in perspective. Really? Yeah. I remember that paint in that garage. So that goes back like 40 plus years. So, I mean, it's silly. The whole premise is silly, but that's how the whole case has been. It's smoke and mirrors. It's,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now he's commenting on paint in his brother's home. Catch me outside. How about that? How about you wouldn't ever catch me talking about paint at any family member's garage? Okay. I don't know. But he's like, I remember that paint. And I'm like, wait, what? What are we doing, Sir Albert?
It would be the best frame job ever. You leave the blood there and then you sell the house.
You sell the house, you leave all the blood. You're like, we're out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? Is everyone laughing? Oh, you said the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
But now you need a time machine on top of everything else. You got to go back 40 years.
Right.
So if you want to say on our low budget show that you have a time machine, feel free.
Yeah. I told you guys what I saw today on that one show, that she was saying that they poured the paint over it purposefully to cover the blood.
That's the time.
Yeah, babe. I know that. I know that they all grew up there and that Chris was the one who bought the house. Oh, I mean, not Chris. I lied. Brian, the eldest, did get the house, the familial home that had been there for generations. They had it for like 50 years. They owned that house and then they sold it. Huh. Wouldn't you have thought that maybe it would get passed down to Caitlin or to Brian? Baby Bri? No? Okay. But I don't think that paint that anyone alleged was there since the 70s. I think it was after Brian Albert had bought it.
Time machine part. So
oh my God.
You got to jump in your time machine and go back 40 years.
Which people actually believe it. That's what to me is so mind-boggling, is that like you can see that it's paint. They know that it's paint because
it's all.
I remember after the first trial when there was a mistrial, and I remember the blogger Turtle Boy saying at one point, he was like, "Yeah, the next jury needs to be." I forgot how he worded it. It was like less intelligent. You guys remember this? Somewhere.
Okay, Tuesday, I know what you're saying here. So, yes, and you're absolutely right, Mary, my RN. They sold it. It sold for $50,000 under ask. So they think they got $9 for it. 9 and some change, if you will. And I mean, that's huge. But this was when the market, if we don't remember, guys, was out of its tits. This was when home sales in Massachusetts, everyone was paying like 50 over ask. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's going to be a bidding war because I feel like it was priced correctly. And then they took $50K under ask. And that was a little bit of a, at the time, in my mind. But yeah, this is just a moment where Tuesday is going to try to spin a narrative again that I just can't get behind. I forget.
Because I really do think that the defense was aiming for people who are not deep thinking and analyzing to be buying into this conspiracy, because it's a very logical thing. But if you're seeing someone online showing paint splatter in the garage, and you know you're buying into this whole conspiracy thing, you will see it the way they want you to see it.
Okay, so did we want dumb jurors? No. Do you ever want dumb jurors? No. But sometimes when people get a little too cerebral, like if you have like a doctorate or a master's or a doctorate, they said that like it potentially that you have more trust, I think, in the government or the DA's office, the more educated you are. And I also think that there was a commonplace, if you go back, there was a nurse in the first one, there was an engineer, and whoever was the foreperson on the first trial, they were kind of holding a line, because when we got that note that came up and they said that we've reached, that we're unable to reach a verdict, right? That our deep moral convictions are unable to get us to an answer or a final verdict. We are just so deeply divided. And it was written beautifully, this note. And I said, holy shit. But also I said, aren't you supposed to be able to put aside your deep moral convictions and just look at the evidence? If you can't do that, how'd you get on the jury? Because that would be considered, your deep moral convictions are a form of bias. And what is that bias telling you? Is that bias telling you that the police did the right thing, that they always do, that the government is here to help, and that clearly if Karen Reed is just sitting at that defense table, that there was reason enough for her to be there? I don't know. But I'll tell you what, second trial, they got it right. Thank you. 12 out of 12, 18 out of 18 would have voted not guilty and believed not only, they either believed that Karen Reed was there was not enough evidence, okay, so she's not guilty by the court of law, or they believed that she was factually innocent. Wow. Duh.
Instead of how the logic behind it and the absurdity of it. But I remember that, and I remember him saying that, and I always thought, I bet you anything that's kind of the way the defense really considered the people they were talking to.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, yeah, and I think that,
Impressionable.
yeah, and I think that answers our question. You know, when you see an interview with one of the jurors and she says, you know, that she thinks maybe, you know, that John probably did get clipped by the car and he lost his shoe and then he went inside without his shoe and then he got beat up. I mean, I think that's your answer, that they probably got the jury they were really looking for.
Right.
Sure.
Well, speaking of your community,
I don't remember Paula saying
let's talk
that.
about the select board. So have you always been interested in community service or politics?
Yeah, well, I'm definitely a political junkie. I've always
Here it
been
is. Here it is.
enamored with politics. I never really thought I would run for an office, to be honest with you. It kind of just came up. It was just not really planned. There was an opening. There was a couple openings. And I just decided, geez, you know, I've done everything else in Canton. I've owned a business for a long time. I've coached sports. I've been involved in my community. And I said, gee, you know what? Maybe I'll give this a try. And I ran for select board, and I actually, you know, I won. I topped the ticket. I came in, you know, top overall. I unseated in the
He was a top,
which isn't easy to do. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't something that I aspired to do, but it was something kind of like, I do like politics. I follow politics pretty closely.
Well, especially being so familiar with the community and stuff, I think that's almost a natural kind of step to take if you have any interest in politics.
And owning a business, I would imagine
Yeah.
you'd have an interest in what the city was doing.
Right.
So can I ask a terminology question as a foreigner to Massachusetts? Is select board what some cities call city council? Is that
Yeah,
the same
so,
thing?
yeah. So what it is, you know, if you're a city, you can have a mayor. Even small towns can have mayors. They would just vote at a town meeting. So select board's like city council.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Just translating for my people. So on that note, because our city council meetings are insane, the crazy stuff that happens at our meetings. So this situation aside, are the meetings crazy? And if so, how do you like keep a straight face and endure the craziness of a select board meeting?
So yeah, I mean, some of them have gotten, you know, a little bit a little bit out of control. You know, I'm a First Amendment guy, so I totally agree with the First Amendment. I think free speech is one of the cornerstones.
What? What? Stop it. Stop it. Oh, he's doing comedy, babe. He's doing a stand-up comedy special in his Justify shirt. Okay, he's hitting Justin Timberlake circa 2007. Is that from the Justify tour? What are you doing? You're a First Amendment guy and you press charges on Aiden T-Rex arms and Will and, you know, rapping like idiots because it was a threat. You're a First Amendment guy. Oh, that feels performative, Chris. Come on. We were born at night, not last night.
Of our society. Some of them have gotten a little bit, you know, over the top. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but some of them definitely have gotten a little out of control.
Aggressive.
Yeah, and some of the things that have been said. You know, you wouldn't think that's commonplace in a you know, a normal society to say some of the things that have been said. You know, it's one thing to attack, you know, an elected official or to say things about an elected official, but the fact that some of these people that come to speak at the town meetings, they don't live in the town, they have no real ties to the town, and to attack, you know, someone's actual family members and relatives is to me, it's over the top. You know what though, I try to just keep a level mind and I try to let it not get to me, because at the end of the day, I know who I am, I know who my family is, and so I try not to let it get to me. It definitely affects me. I'm not gonna say it doesn't, but you just try to go in a space where you kind of just like drum out the noise and just kind of, you know, just zone out and let them say what they're going to say. And then we just, you know, we go on to the regular night's business and, you know, just try to, everyone's entitled to their opinions, but, you know, when you start attacking people, especially people's families, I think that crosses the line. So.
Yeah.
And you weren't on the select board when John died, correct? You were elected after John passed away.
Yes.
So
2023 of April. It's a 3-year term, so it'll be up this April 2026.
You gonna run again?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think, you know, it was.
Oh, look at everybody happy. Look at everybody happy as a clam. So is Canton. Breaking news. Chris Albert, business owner of D&E Pizza and select board member extraordinaire, will not be seeking another term in 2026. Mazel. Yeah. Your behavior, your conduct is not one to emulate, good sir. Okay, we've seen you at the select board meetings. We've seen how you've spoken to women in your community. And now you're going to try to switch it up and say, oh, well, there's people that come here from other places and they have no connection to Canton, i.e., what are you coming at John Como? Because he shows up and he shows out and he has questions and he waits his turn. It's chaos. God forbid he asks a question. And I think that it was brazen, and it has been brazen in the ability for Chris Albert to say things, to do things, especially when there's been issues in front of perhaps his business, and not have accountability there. And then the other select board members to just make everything remote for a while. Let's not deal with people in person. And that's how we're just going to avoid this. I think it's the best choice for Canton to get a new select board member. And yeah, it was really impressive that you beat the incumbent, but now someone's got to beat you. And you just walk out and do whatever it is that you would like to sell some mediocre chicken parm, wear your Justin Timberlake sweatshirts. Do you, boo? But we've all seen what this last 3 years has been. Thank you.
Wasn't what I envisioned.
I'm sure.
It would be like in different times in different places. You know, it's unfortunate.
It really is. It's sad.
I'm really looking forward to it, and you know, it didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to. It's unfortunate.
It is.
Yeah, that's sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you do a great job at the meetings, Chris. I don't know how you do it. Truly, I I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, just trying to just keep my cool, keep my composure, and not, it's difficult. Like I said before,
Well,
it's
true.
difficult when someone
We're only
says
human.
something, then they might not directly call out a family member, but they have called out my family members.
Yeah.
But my direct family members. But
I do have some clips. Did we want to play them at all?
Sure.
Or no? Let me see.
You didn't have
guys
that
can keep
ready.
talking. Let me find them real quickly.
Okay, well, I have a very controversial question to ask while she finds the clip, because this has been raging, this controversy.
This is wild.
And that is
This is what
even
you spent your
amongst this
time.
group, I think. And that is, does pineapple go on pizza?
What is it?
Oh,
Does pineapple go on pizza?
So I personally would never eat pineapple on a pizza. I mean,
It's not.
oh
It's
yeah.
good. It is pretty good. I was in the same camp, but I tried it. It's pretty good.
but I have really close friends that like pineapple.
I
on
have
pizza,
friends
so
who
I
like
wanna-
pineapple on pizza.
My son loves it. He loves it.
I did not want to try it.
How did that feel? Like an inappropriate joke of some sort. I have friends that like pineapple on pizza. First of all, pineapple does not belong on pizza. Period. Point blank. Fight me. I can't. I'm never going to get past it. I'm never going to try it. Number two, you own a pizza store or like a pizzeria. And I wouldn't be talking about different flavors that are offered, but he does mention that he loves a pineapple in different circumstances. And what did I think? Now this is just pathetic. But I'm like, oh, exactly, Jeffrey, you little piggy boy. I go, we're talking about pineapples. Hot topic.
And I got it on accident, and I was like, this is delicious. It was really good.
See, that's proof of what a good person you are, Chris, is that you have maintained the relationships with the people who put fruit on their pizza.
Keep those pineapple
Yeah,
people
absolutely.
around.
That's my one of my biggest supporters. Is,
Down at the hillside.
Truly great guy. He gets pineapple on his pizza all the time, so I'm not gonna. I just personally don't. Then again, I don't think I've ever tried pineapple on a pizza. So I love cold pineapple. I think pineapple's a great fruit.
It's good.
See?
It's good.
Ever the diplomat,
That was very diplomatic.
Okay.
his cases enduring
Yes.
horrific
Mhm.
intimidation.
Yes,
It's just appalling to me.
it is. It really
So-
is.
You know,
That
I don't know
makes-
if you caught his recent, I don't know, media thing that he's done, Alan Jackson, but he basically told the public because he has taken Nick Reiner's case, and he made a comment saying like, basically, hey,
Interesting. Tuesday, as of yesterday, AJ has actually been taken off, or he has left the Reiner case. And this was last night that you did the interview, correct? This was live. Yeah. So that was news yesterday. And as a gazetter, one would hope you would know that information. So he is no longer representing Nick Reiner from Alan Jackson or his firm. And what are you going to talk shit about AJ for? Go.
public, no rush to judgment, no speculations type announcement. You know, this is let's let the legal system do what they want. And it's like, hold on, buddy.
Yeah. And he means it. And he means that because it's okay for the media to make announcements and to write pieces, whether it be from Fox 25, whether it be Vanity Fair, any news public outlet, Turtle Boy News, anybody can document as a journalist and write what they want, give an opinion on facts when they are coming out. You know what's not cool is when DA Michael Morrissey comes onto a hostage video and says that we got the right person, and the innocent, assigning guilt to Karen Reed and innocence to anyone else when she hadn't been tried. That's inappropriate. It is inappropriate to say, this has to stop. Colin was not in the house. I can't do it. Sorry. It's bad, guys. Get someone else. But like, he was putting facts of a case or creating facts of his case and trying to give information to the public from an official standpoint, saying that we got the right person here and stop looking other places. We did the right thing. Ew.
You know, you ran to every magazine, every possible
They
PR
should.
outlet you could possibly do. You had called phone calls with the blogger, I mean, over a dozen, like 30 times, I think was in the document that I read, but just at that point when that was filed. And he was whining and dining apparently with journalists. We had Matt Gutman 2020, according to Aiden.
Oh.
They all went to dinner together. And, you know, again, not to go into Vanity Fair, but we know that whole mess was a PR puff piece type situation. So it's really hard to take Alan Jackson seriously when he changes his tune with every case in the public, but he uses the public constantly as
shit.
he cares more about painting the picture to people and how they should
I
respond
disagree.
and how they should see things than he seems to really care about in the courtroom.
Well, and he's on his own license at home, so I'm sure that's a little different for
Absolutely.
him. But I will say that outside of Massachusetts, other courts have taken notice and put some things in place. There are several trials that I was thinking I was going to get to watch that are coming up, where the judges have said people broke the streaming rules, and so the entire trial is not going to be televised or streamed. And you know, and
it will change. I think there are going to be changes, though, Levies, truly, because there are so many positives about us being able to be so involved or aware of what is happening in a courtroom. That is how things are. That's how people are held accountable. That is how, elected officials, everybody is held to the standard in which they should be operating at a baseline when the public has access. And I believe it is a truly imperative public, offer for us. We should be able to see all of the court proceedings, obviously not in federal, but we can in civil and in state for Massachusetts. But this is wild that anybody is going to blame AJ or say that he did anything wrong when AJ is a defense attorney, and how he is going to come up with his defense for his clients is one of one. He's been doing this for 3 decades. He is incredible. I feel he's ethical. I feel like the only person I ever, or has been said allegedly since the beginning of his career, is that he came out and said factually innocent, is Karen Reed. Yes, he's going to defend people if you need a plea, an insanity plea, or if there was no intention and you can not have to get first-degree murder, goes down to manslaughter. That makes sense. You are there to defend. But he made a statement, and I believe him, that Karen Reed is factually innocent. And I, just like DCN 43, will continue to support Karen to get justice for John till the wheels fall off. And my support of Karen is also intertwined into a support for Aiden, because both of their cases will provide discovery that will assist one another, in my opinion. Because I've talked to Mr. Betterow on a Sunday service for enough times in my life to know that it's true. That everything that comes forward, that everything that's asked for in the civil can affect the criminal for Aiden. And anything that they are able to produce in the criminal that is able to help Karen will as well. There is not one without the other. Meaning Aiden's case would not have happened if there was not the criminal case of Karen Reed, not her civil case. So I support her and I support him.
Indiana, I think there was an effect from this trial, and so it does have an effect. It just needs to have an effect in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
So, well,
I definitely think this will go into some kind of legal history books, because there's a lot of things about this case and how. Yeah.
I think it will too, not in the ways that you think.
All right. Well, I will turn it over to you Tuesday.
Oh, and Tuesday wasn't ready, so we're going to keep going.
For him, to get out of bed. Some days are better than others, and it's an absolute. It's
sorry, Levy.
Disgusting what people have done to him and what they've said about him, and it's truly I can't even, it just gets me so upset. But he's, he just tries to get through each day at a time, one day at a time. It's just imagine, someone calling your son a murderer for no reason whatsoever.
I couldn't, and I say it all the time, people laugh at me, but he truly is a kid. If you're going to go after adults, you're going to go after somebody our age. We have life experience and we can put things into perspective. When you're talking about a 19, 20, 21-year-old kid, they don't have that. And they're just trying to figure out who they are. And now imagine people have, basically they've made you a leper. They've made you a social pariah. They have said horrible things. And the worst part of this is it's adults doing this. It is people in their 40s and 50s and 60s who are doing this, who should know better, who should know that you cannot do that to a person that age. He hasn't done anything wrong. And I can't, my mom used to say, when you have kids, your heart lives on the outside of your body. And it's so true. So
I
it would
agree
be
with
one
that.
thing if it was happening
Julie.
to me, but to have to watch my child go through that would be just, I don't know how you and Julie do it, because I probably would have lost my mind by this point. And the one thing that I've noticed, and it happened to me this weekend on Twitter, someone was, laughing and making light of the situation with Richard Schiffer, which I didn't find that funny at all. And I had made the comment, well, maybe you could just tell me who your child is, and we could do that. We could, get little things and throw them all around town and accuse your child of heinous things. And the person got very, very upset. And, the point of that is if the thought of it happening to your child upsets you, then why are you not taking a step back and thinking about?
Well, okay. And again, here's the holier than thou. All right. I can't, because fuck off. Personally, okay, this is going to be a hot topic, guys. And maybe this is too much of a hot take for this early in the morning at 7:22. But I have always looked at Colin as like, yeah, he was a punk. And yeah, when Kate Peter started the rumor that like he was selling drugs or whatever, and there was that John, when all of that rumor came about that was incorrect, I was like, okay, maybe there is something there. But I will say, it's like, just for me, I had always seen that Big Neck Daddy Higgins, when he's leaving the bar, when he's calling John out, when he's texting Karen, like, well, and then he's texting John, are you coming here? And then during trial 1, we see that Colin like got into a fight with somebody, and a skinny little ginger boy. And I thought to myself, well, Officer John O'Keefe is stronger and bigger and has more life experience. And there was never, just for me, I was like, I don't get it, or I don't get how. And I never personally would say I knew what happened on January 29th, 2022, because I wasn't there and I didn't investigate it. And neither did Michael fucking Proctor. So let's be perfectly clear on that. And I have never thought that Allie had anything to do with anything, other than I thought it was weird about the dog. I was like, wait a minute, this girl has nothing to do with anything. And yet this story feels like a lie. You ever put details, like you see my kids putting details into a story? They're like, yes, well, at 3:32, I happened to see Mr. Mulligan down the road, and he was planting flowers. And that's how I knew that I wasn't there. Like, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, we're putting a lot of details in here. Like, why wasn't it just I drove home? Oh, we picked up a rescue. We took the rescue over to here. I was like, this is highly detailed. Again, nothing wrong, or nothing that I believed was, of any criminal mastermind here. But for me, and for where I feel comfortable of having my opinion, it has always been, I looked sideways at Higgy. I looked sideways at Brian Albert. But I never pretended that I knew exactly what happened, because I don't. Thank you. That's my TED Talk.
About what you're doing to this kid. It blows my mind that people can't understand that. And like I said, it is all adults. It is a bunch of adult bullies. And it used to be, the kids that we raised are the first generation that kind of had, Twitter and YouTube, and you could go on there and find things. And I would tell them all the time, you don't know if that's true. It might just be whatever. But they also had the social media. Whereas, for us, if you were being bullied or something was happening, you could go home and it was your sanctuary. And it's not like that anymore. People can get to you wherever you are, and to be completely shut out, to completely shut everything off at that age. I can't.
Well, let's be perfectly clear. Colin didn't shut everything off. We get to see him there are posts all the time of him saying, "Pull up, bitch, bang, bang." Like he is drinking espresso martinis with his girlfriends, with his friends, with Benny's. You don't know what's happening. Good for him. Live his life on social media, but he didn't get rid of it all. So, but that is true that the kids, I think that they are probably the first generation that have had like everything from Snapchat to Twitter to Facebook to Instagram. Everything is online. So if you're bullied at school, you are also like the cyber can get you at all hours 24/7. There is no way to get away from it unless you do log off. I agree with that sentiment.
I can't even imagine what that poor kid has gone through. And I am so sorry that you guys have had to go through that.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it's it's mind-boggling that, like you said, there's adults that are doing this to a kid, like for no fault of his own.
He's grown up now.
I can't even put it into. I'm a loss for words. It's disgusting and it's despicable. And if this happened to someone else's child, they would be outraged. And to see adults acting the way they act is just, there's no place for a civilized society for this crap. It's just, honest to God. Just,
I think Chris, Joe Krowski said it best once on Court TV, which I always think about. The clip gets played a lot.
No, I want to hear them talk about the knuckles.
Everything was going around, everything was going fine. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we get this word about some blogger and some article. And then boom, it's like, what? You're like, my son Colin? What are you
right. Yeah. I can't even imagine.
You know what's really maddening is the photo of his knuckles. And there was one photo of his knuckles, and he had scrapes on his knuckles. And that was proven that there's a photo that was like a month after John had passed away, that photo. And there was another photo that was like way closer to the time that John had died. And it's showing his knuckles. He was at, I think it was like someone was in the military and came back. There was some kind of party.
Yeah. It was
and he, and they're posing for photos, and, people are looking at his knuckles, and there's nothing there. And so we know logically, reduction here is that when he had scraped his knuckles, it was not at the time anywhere near this time when John had died. But even the Boston Herald would post this photo as if that is a photo that it's scary what the media can do and how careless they are in order to sensationalize a story, and how this impacts families, let alone a young adult male who, is just entering into adulthood, and they just don't care.
No,
that's not true.
It's all about the media. They hold a big responsibility in this. They hold a lot of blame, and they just went with clicks and likes to sell a story. And what they've done in their, oh God, it's just the fact that they have sensationalized this and just. It's just terrible. Absolutely.
Well, and in trial too, Judge Cannoni ruled that there wasn't enough to even name Palin as a third party.
Great. Thanks, Jewel. Thanks, good time, Jewel Karp. But she let it in trial 1. So what does that say about her jurisprudence? What does that say about her rulings? Because shall one be even keeled and allow the same information that was allowed in trial 1 into trial 2, and still without Karen Reed was found not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. So, yeah. Thanks. Also, the sensational part of it, in my opinion, is making Karen look like the villain and Karen look like the bad guy. Because it was never, no offense, and to my colleague, JK, Ted Daniel, who I love him, gonna call him. Like, he was on it, but he was on it more when I felt like it became a little bit safer to do so. And having not opinions because it's all fact-based, but he would just provide what is happening. He got crucified for wearing the color pink of a shirt to court by these people because, God forbid, his color of choice for a shirt that like whatever was clean that day, he was deemed like that he had bias and that he was in favor of Karen Reed. Well, I don't know, babe. Is he on the jury? Well, who gives a shit what color he's wearing? And Boston 25 had to tell him, you're not allowed to wear that. Vinnie Politan of Court TV was not allowed to wear pink because he didn't want to have it look like he was in support of one or the other. Like, in my opinion, the media was 100% in favor of Karen. The documentaries did not paint Karen in the most favorable light. Hank Brennan thought that was going to be his win, was those sound bites, those clips. And yet there was a question asked by the jury that said, is this evidence? They didn't even take it as like, okay, what she said here, is this what they're trying to make me feel? You put the weight of whatever you believe those statements had. And they parsed it together and put it together into a way that makes Karen look cold and calculated and callous. When she was in absolute beast mode, fighting for her life, times 2 trials with an autoimmune disorder. And a Commonwealth that was looking to revoke her bail and put her in prison. Stop it.
Culprit. And so you would think that would cause people to think, the public to think, that would cause the media to write articles, and that is not at all what happened.
Right.
Yeah, where's all the articles from the media saying, well, what Judge Benoni said? They didn't want to hear it. They just didn't like, you know. It didn't
her latest filing doesn't have Colin in it. Not even mentioned.
Right.
No one's
But
mentioned
I
that.
mean, that's the damage of those things too. Once you do that, there's no putting that back. There's no stopping that. And there will always be people that believe that. And I think some of this alternative media, these YouTubers as well, they would have people on, that lived in Canton. They're not doing any fact checking. They're allowing these people to just spew these crazy rumors. I mean, do you remember that one, Carrie, that one show? It was someone from Canton who's been very vocal and then just dropped out. And she was making comments about Colin. And they were it was just all gossip and blanket statements.
Gossip and
had
rumors and
no examples, nothing.
Yes.
And they just, the host just allowed her to spew all of this stuff.
It was just nonsense.
I'm thankful I didn't hear it. So
yeah, well,
no kidding. Don't look for it.
It still makes me angry.
Yeah.
But Chris, it's like you said, like there's something missing from our society. Because I guess in my head, I still think of a culture where adult women with children would circle around a child that was being attacked, no matter who that child was. And the idea that this is largely a group of women who either have children or are of the age where they can have children, promoting this and keeping it alive for years and years and years is just deeply disturbing to me.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even like the psychology behind it. It's just like mind-boggling. I can't understand why they act the way they act. It just makes no sense. If this was their child or their grandchild, grandkid, how would they feel? Like it's just crazy that things.
Well, a lot of them on Twitter, I like every time I get, one of those comments from, these free Karen Reed people who are quite aggressive in the way they tweet. It's either a stock account. A lot of times, they're brand new. It's people just making new accounts.
Okay. So Tuesday is going to go on here to say that like people have kindness in their bio and she's like, I'm a Christian. And I'm like, really, Tuesday? Because you also are mean as shit to me. And like, here's the only question that I have is that like everybody I think we're all trying to do the best that we can. I keep my stuff always on what was actually said in court. I would always report on like, what was in the filings. I tried to stay clear of all speculation. If it was my kid, I'd be up in arms because why? Let's be perfectly honest. Like, it's your kid. It doesn't matter. You love your children. Julie Albert had, in my opinion, like hearing her say bukkake on the stand, although funny, like you could see the toll that things had taken on Julie. And like as a human with a heart and knowing that she has no part in any kind of the death of Officer John O'Keefe, wasn't a contributor in any factor. And just seeing like, just feeling for her as a woman, as a mom, and being like, oh God, Jules, like I just could see the toll. Like she looked tired to me, that she had like been through it, right? And as a mom, that breaks my heart. And as a woman, it breaks my heart. But also, let's not pretend like this doesn't happen from this side, because they're evil with the shit that comes out of their mouths. Good Time Jewel Carp has said unbelievably horrific things. I would say Mama Llama actually hasn't, to me, but in Tuesday Gazette also thinks that she is a moral compass. And again, guys, there are people that will say to me, because of the Massachusetts sea glass that was put in the Urban Dictionary about taillight fragment from Karen Reed's Lexus, right? I don't believe Officer John O'Keefe was struck by a vehicle, and I don't believe a vehicle struck Officer John O'Keefe. So the sea glass is not intended or disrespectful to the life of Officer John O'Keefe. And some asshole that is with them on their side says, I hope that your children, Kim's children, suffer more pain and loss in their lives than the O'Keefe family's children ever had to. And that is where I will come out my neck and talk wild to you 10 out of 10 times. Don't ever say my kid's name or wish like loss and pain upon my children because of Jimmy submitting something to the Urban Dictionary. Get an actual life and live it. You exquisitely dumb fucks. Because that'll get a reaction out of me.
But people whose profile it is their real profile, I have come across so many.
Oh God!
People keep saying it over and over again. It just shows you more what type of people they are than what.
This term.
What is a McAlbert? There's no such thing. There's the McCabe's and there's the Alberts. Like when people are saying it over and over.
Let's go back. Let's go back. This is kind of a big deal in my opinion.
It's it's frustrating.
Yeah.
Well, with us in this case, this is kind of, I've said it before and I'll keep saying it. They dehumanized us to a point where we're just, we're not like real people. Yeah.
We're McAlberts, right? This term.
What is a McAlbert? There's no such thing. There's the McCabe's and there's the Alberts. Like when people are saying it over and over again, it just shows you more what type of people they are.
Wow. What did you think when he said that? Babes, did you get like a distancing? Right? Oh, I go, what are we? Okay. There are no McAlberts. Granted, McAlberts was a combo platter created by Aiden to band them together. I've never heard a McCabe or an Albert say that there is none, that is not like ever. There are the McCabes and there are the Alberts. Oh. You don't say. Are we having a little separation of church and state? What's going on? You guys good? Okay.
Than what we are. How shallow they are and how just oh God, it's disgusting.
Right. But it's meant to, oh sorry, I was gonna say it's meant to have you as one entity, right? To make you sound more like your own mob. You are the McAlberts, you are this thing, and it's a lie. It's a lie that they're painting you in.
It's literally ripped from the propaganda, Soviet propaganda. It's exactly following those same rules because you're othering
Soviet propaganda
by dehumanizing them and
United States of America
that everybody can be mad at. And then you're controlling the language, which
Cool.
is essential to good propaganda. You change the meaning of certain words, and so that people lose their focus on the truth. That way, it's completely propaganda in every single way. And I will believe that is why Hank used that quote in court about, repeating a line, it becomes a truth, because that's what that quote is about. It's about propaganda, and it's effective, unfortunately.
Oh, I mean, think about it. They all say the McAlberts. We don't just mean people on Twitter. The lawyers on Twitter use McAlberts. The law tubers use McAlberts. I mean, it's gross. It's really disgusting.
It's become a derogatory word. That's what it's meant to be.
That's the point.
Every time you hear that word,
it's defamatory.
Just like when it's Jen is just a regular mom or whatever that statement was. They use this over and over and over to degrade people. Yeah. And the truth doesn't need that. The truth doesn't need you,
babe. babe. No one is degrading anyone by saying, I'm just a normal mom. Oh my, are we okay? Hello? Are you people all right? McAlbert's is not defamatory. It is not degrading to say that, like, oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm just a normal mom. And also, Kevin Linehan didn't help her out either. She's just a soccer mom.
To create a image to persuade people a certain way. The truth is the truth. You know, there is no need for this type of messaging. And, you know,
is y'all cool?
It's wild.
Well,
so Chris, sorry.
No, go for it.
So I went over some of your testimony yesterday. And I got to the part about John coming in to D&E that day, and you guys had made plans to possibly meet up, and you had got to the waterfall and you texted him, and you were teasing him about his lawn and that he should get over there. And, you know, listening to David Yannetti try to turn this into some kind of threat, right? I mean, what was going through your head when he was like trying to make it seem like you were like threatening him that you were going to like tear up his front lawn? I mean, come on.
I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, but it was then again, it was all a performance. It was like theater for him. But to me, it was upsetting because John was my friend, you know what I mean? And that joke about the lawn was like, it was genuine. And like, it wasn't like, it's crazy to me. It's mind boggling that they tried to spin that and make that like, he had something. Why did John come in my shop that day?
Well, interesting though. Like, okay, Jewel, good time, Jewel Carp. You know, I would buy this. I would buy it hook, line, and sinker, except, you know that Chris got Officer O'Keefe's phone number that day, the 28th, Friday, January 28th. They had lived on the same street for how long? He got his phone number that day. But John was your friend. But you never texted him before and never spoke to him before. Not saying anything nefarious, but let's not pretend that like, oh my God, we would text each other every Tuesday. Because Tuesday's here. She's gazetting.
I was just going to say those are the things they want to make people forget, right? They don't want people to remember that John and his son, or Patrick, his nephew, came into Chris's shop that day. That's where he spent his last day having lunch, was with his friend Chris. They don't want everybody to remember that. And I think he invited himself out with you guys, right? Chris asked what you guys were doing.
He said, what are you doing tonight? And I said, actually, it's my nephew's birthday
party.
I
mean, they don't want people to remember that.
I thought it was so cute because my dad was like that with his lawn too. And when we would tease him.
It was his nephew's birthday party. It was his nephew's birthday party. Chris Albert, what did you just say? I said it was my nephew's birthday party. Baby Brian, who was home with Julie Nagel and the rest of his girlfriends, singing Lady Gaga, drinking some Michelob Ultras in a can. What? No, they didn't go out to the waterfall. Want to know why? Because baby Brian has baby anxiety. And he's a homebody king. And you weren't there at the house. So where was the party?
We'd be like, yeah, we're going to step on the lawn. You know, my girlfriend and I used to tease him all the time. So I thought it was super cute. So, you know, I remember when it was happening, you know, live during the trial, and I was like, what is he doing? Like, people aren't going to really think that this was an actual threat, right? And so these people are like this big, powerful mob, and what he's going to threaten him with is, I'm going to like tear up your front lawn. Like, are you serious right now?
It was so bizarre.
Yeah, it was.
But it's crazy because like the internet and these people, these low IQ people, believe that. They think that was like that photo. If you remember that photo that they posted.
Yeah, it was super cute. I thought that was cute too.
I mean, John asked us to like just keep a lookout on his yard. So me and Julie went to dinner. John and Karen, I think we're in Florida.
Good morning.
So as a joke on the way home, Julie's like, "Hey, pull over. We're gonna pull over. We're gonna send John a picture." So we share the picture. They're like, "Oh, look at them harassing him." And
that was so weird.
And Karen obviously knew that. And Karen knew that narrative, right?
She saw the photo when it was sent over to him.
Yes.
I mean,
it's such a melodramatic and hysterical way to interpret a little joke like that. And then the other thing that he did that's top of mind right now is the incident with Dylan. And where he kept trying to make it Colin, and he kept trying to say, you know,
Oh,
Colin
yeah.
just walked through his yard and flip him off. And you're like, no, that was Dylan. And I thought it was really sweet too. You know, the end of that story that John didn't even like realize that he had upset Dylan, and then he comes over with candy, and that tells you what the relationship was like.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice.
Yep.
And part of that, I wondered at the time, because I thought those were really sweet stories. I thought the donuts in the car was really sweet. Like they just seem like warm relationships. And sometimes I wonder, is it just that these people don't have the healthy relationships in their lives? Like their lives are so messed up that they do think it's impossible for somebody to do something really sweet for you on your birthday.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
So for the record, Ian, you know that Dunkin' Donuts are always open during blizzards. Why is everyone think that's such a weird thing?
I know,
Especially if
I
you live in New England, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that was
never
something that
closed.
my wife did all the time. Brought him donuts on his birthday all the time.
Yeah.
That's
That's
just
so sweet.
Yeah.
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 She. Oh, you got me. Son of a gun. All right. They put me out, loveys. Oh. Okay. I'm not allowed to stream it anymore. All right. Well, listen, we got a lot, but that was going back to Julie Albert and her leaving the donuts and coffee for baby Brian in the morning, the wee morning of a blizzard. And you know, here's the thing is that of course Dunkin' Donuts is open and I understand, but like also I care about your safety. If it was so bad, I mean, the worst conditions. They got 20 something inches of snow. Okay. Understood. So, yeah, Dunks might be open, but why did you drive by and why did you go out? Don't we care about your safety? I care about your safety, Julie. And then you just put in those coffee and donuts. And although baby Bri had rung in his birthday with Sarah and Julie and a couple of his other girlfriends, you thought he'd be up to get that coffee. Oh. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna stop sharing that, levies. Okay, good. Yeah, so that was just wild to me. And I don't think that it was not sweet. And again, on a day, Zabars, does she have any? No. But will I? Possibly. All right. So that was my only point with that was that yeah, of course, a regular end of January. Absolutely. But at that time in the morning during an active storm where you guys are saying nobody should have been on the roads, it was dangerous for the entire the whole county shouldn't have been driving. And you barely made it to the hospital and people had to go pick other people up and you're just out trotting? You're trotting to the dunks? Getting 6 donuts? And a box of Joe. Okay. Do you? All right. Oh, the hour. Yes, everything. Oh, okay. Just Chrissy the Crone says appeal under Fair Use Act. Ooh. So, but they can private. So they've changed it. They've clearly changed the settings because they didn't want me to stream it anymore. I just wanted to have it for a little posterity for any attorney that would like to maybe see it. That's all I'm saying. And there were a couple good snippets. And I'm sure that it's been clipped and other parts will be taken and provided onto Twitter because it is wild to me. That is unbelievable. There was a comment on that stream last night that said, ask all these free Karen Reed assholes why you guys would be talking and you have nothing to hide. And I'm like, oh, are you shitting me? What are we doing right now? You shouldn't be talking. Kerry Roberts, don't talk. Chris Albert, don't talk. Because everything you said just put your foot in your mouth, in my opinion. You have now set up and given absolute discoverable material of an interview from 4 housewives that thought that they were going to ask you about pineapple pizza, but then also got additional information from you that is in direct contrast to what has been testified to. Like, I don't know, but maybe I wouldn't have done it. And really, truly, what tickled the shit out of me was the First Amendment guy. I'm a First Amendment guy. I go, oh, are you? Yeah. Okay. Are you? Who are we fooling? What are we doing here? Exactly. JCOZ says, no, open mouth wider, put both feet in. Absolutely, babe. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was unreal. It's 7:51 a.m. Do you know where your children are? Yeah. That's cool. Oh, the video is still up? Yeah, they must have done something to me, babe, because I tried to do it and it says an error. Okay, learn more. Let me try to learn more. Yeah, they probably just blocked me. Yeah, mine says that this is not allowing me. I'm trying again. But also, we know I don't know how to work the. No? Okay, let me try. Oh. Focus. If I was. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I shouldn't do this right now, but now I'm stuck on it. And I'm going to hyperfixate of like, can I find it? Oh, no, not there. Where do you live? Who? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm going to get my head directly out of my ass in 3, 2. No, I think they blocked me. All right. Shit. All right, well, go watch it. It's the forensic room. And also, I did put that it was, what else did I say? I said that they could, or you could go and watch it wherever you want, but they will have clips on definitely everywhere on Twitter. That update that Chris Albert will not be running for re-election for Canton Select Board, big doings. And I think if you listen, there is enough there that is very, very interesting and shall be for attorneys in multiple areas. Okay, speaking of attorneys in multiple areas, Levies, let's talk a little bit more shit, but I want to give you 2 updates. We're doing a Saturday service this week because unfortunately, Mr. Betterow has something, a personal matter, God bless him, that he has to do on Sunday. And so on Saturday, we'll do a 9 o'clock Saturday service, Saturday sabbatical, Saturday soothing with attorney Mr. Mark Betterow, 9 a.m. per his schedule. That's what's going to work. Sunday, will I do something? If you want it, I will. If you don't, I won't. And then I also wanted to remind you that Monday morning, when I'm turning 40 on the 12th, to anyone who did wish me a happy birthday this Monday, you're just early. You're early to the party, and I love you for that, okay? I am not 40 until the 12th. And on the 12th, we are picking the Falcon 5 for a weekend away in Laconia, in New Hampshire, with me, Meatball Morrissey, Sketty Stain. I believe Emily C is going. It's already happened. And potentially your aunt, Jimberly. He'll probably come up for one afternoon because we know him. He's a dramatic gay. And what he does is he shows up, or sometimes he doesn't and won't even text you. Oh, you're coming? Are you coming? And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, babe. I was sleeping. I slept that weekend. So he may come or he may not. And just remember, if you do enter, just put your address so that me and Meatball Morrissey Sketty Stain can send you an invitation that has the codes. And if you get the codes, then you're allowed in. It's kind of a big deal. It's a $40 to enter. And I'll be pulling that on Monday on my birthday. And there's a lot going on Monday. Ooh, And Saturday night is the Lifetime movie for Karen. Jesus, there is so much stuff happening. All right, can we all get away from like drama? I feel like this is good. With more things happening, all of us get in a better spot emotionally and mentally. Okay. Now, also, one other thing before we go. Let's talk this shit. So I got this little zoop from a little alert, if you will, from the Boston. I don't even know what it was. It was Mass Connect Live or whatever. Nope, just kidding. Mass Daily News said breaking. Sources say Boston Police Commissioner Michael Cox is expected to depart. And I go, oh, is he? Now, do I have any more hot goss on that? No, but I did know that he had to make a statement about an officer and potentially a DV case. And he's had to been making a lot of statements lately of the conduct of officers. And that's where I say that sometimes the culture is toxic and that we all have to really be aware and maybe don't stick your foot further in your mouth when you say you never spoke to Kelly Dever. And babe, we got emails being like, oh, you met her and you told her to do the right thing. And then you're seeing a lot of fallout from specifically Karen's case with Sean Good, Proctor, Buchanan, and his solicitation of donations for the House defendants. I won't call them McAlberts because that's rude. So the House defendants. Yep. Okay. You're soliciting donations for them while you're an active Massachusetts police officer? While you were the boss of the lead investigator and the only one who testified in trial 2? Shut up. Shut up. It's wild. Did he also teach her how to say garage? Well, no, I know how to say garage. Wicked pissa. Oh, I know. I want to know more about Good too. Oh, and that is has been requested by the civil case as well. And he's been on leave. I mean, another one bites the dust. There used to be like this, we had a long time ago, loveys. There was this it wasn't like a bingo card, but it was like X's on everybody who like no longer worked, was retired, or had been disciplined and had disciplinary action regarding this case. I'm going to find it and I'm going to post it today because it is shocking. It is unbelievable when you see the correlation and the connection of people that retired early, left on medical, have transferred out, were given to another unit. It's like, oh my. And that is where I firmly believe that Trooper Michael Proctor didn't just risk his career for this. There had been a culture of whatever to ensure that there was protection of bad acts of certain people. And this wasn't his one mistake that he ever made. He clearly is not represented by the board, not what is that board? The police union. They've let him go. They won't do any representation of him because they got another extraction and they see more. You found nude images of someone. You found alleged racist things that you were saying. And then Sean Good gets lumped in. And I'm like, ooh, what was there? What's that connection? And then I go back to that 911 call and him not being there, not at the Blizzard party. Unfortunately, I wasn't there. Where? Where weren't you? Because Kerry Roberts never gave a location. because they didn't know they were going to 34 Fairview until after that. I have questions. And the civil case will get the answers. Those sidebars are insane. Go to the trial channel, loveys. I'm telling you right now, go find yourself there. Mazel and make way for ducklings. Get your ass to the trial channel and listen to the sidebars. Shall we do that later? Yeah. She's done all voices like to it. So because I can't do all of the voices. I'm no Emily C. and Corey. Okay. They're special, but I can listen and we can like throw some Haribo gummies down our gullets and kick back a DC or two. Are you with me, babes? Okay. All right. Listen, I love your faces. You're the best to ever do it. Yes, we shall. Oh, good morning from Alberta, Canada. What's shaking, bacon? Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Let's be a good girl, smart and pretty. I'm remembering super chats. Cheryl with an S loves my face and I love hers. Dina is my Waltham girl and I am hers for life. We have, and actually John Barron said I was Waltham white trash. Oh, I'm sorry, John Barron. I got something. It was just right here. I found it in my pocket for you. And also, you're not wrong. And rude. Did I ever say I wasn't? Oh, hurtful. Okay, Lozzie C says, love you, Kim. I'm off today. This live stream has made my day. Oh, babe, I love that. Thank you for being here. And to Karma Fairy has become a consensual YouTube member at my house. Oh my God, look at your hair. Are you shitting me right now? You're Gorgini. Babe. Hi. And Real Bieber loves an early morning show. We know I cannot speak and do become dyslexic. The Prince of Wales, aka Zach, says Happy New Year to you and your family from me and my little prostate. I can't super chat from my phone, only laptop. Oh, I hope your prostate does incredible in 2026. You know, I'm always rooting for you, Zach. Kazi Thesaurus says he isn't going to run because our DA Deitch is coming in. Daddy Deitch, AD for DA all the way. And Crystalare says, Nurse Kim, I'm going to need you to do an early AF stream daily. Babe, no, I love you. I love you to death. Maybe I could do it one more time. I can maybe do 2 a week, but I can't do this. I'm out of my mind. My mouth is like, blah, 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 blah. I get like a little wobblies. And thank you so much though for well, all right. And listen, you come to my house. You just become a member at my house. Yeah, of course. I'll do another one. I'll do 2 a week for you, Crystal Are. And Kazi Thesaurus said, Larry, the DUI guy, went over the sidebars and Bev is so unethical. Yeah, we saw that. All right, mister. And that's where all the gifts are. Here's the thing. Trial 2 is also going to provide us with unhinged shit. That is where we find out, guys, what was not let in, because you know damn right well that Alan Jackson, David Yannetti, and Mr. Alessi and Liza Little tried. They tried and tried. And whatever she denied, that is going to be where our fingerprint shows that Judge Cannoni prevented, and what the rationale was from her preventing specific testimony, specific questioning, everything. And there will be nuggets of truth that no one had seen and will make a difference in securing justice for Officer John O'Keefe, in my opinion. And thank you so much, Crystal Lowry, for doling out 5 non-consensual Nurse Kim memberships this early in the morning, like we're at the Centerfolds in Worcester. And Linda Macy also gifted 1 like $1, and we've shaken it and we'll holla for $1. And Real Bibauer says, how do we enter the drawing? The drawing for the Falcon 5, March 13th to March 15th in New Hampshire, weekend away with unbelievable unhinged women. Jump on in. You just send because I'm going to pay Meatball Morrissey Sketty Stain and then like all of your food and drink, the whole 9. It's a whole weekend, babe. Get a babysitter and have a blasty blast with me. Are we going to be reading sidebars and also hitting some sidebars? Yeah. Okay, what am I saying? $40 an entry, and that is to either Cash App or Venmo. And I'm going to pull the drawing Monday morning on my birthday, 40 on a Monday. Listen to me. I love your face. Be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. And I'll be back at least on Saturday morning, 9 a.m. with Mr. Betterow for a weekly legal roundup. And if not, I'll do an early morning stream for my new member, Kayla Bowser. Okay. Love your faces. Bye. Have a good Thickums Thursday.
All right. Great job on the news.
Thank you.
We will, Courtney and I will share what happened when we went to dinner last night, Sunday dinner coming up. And as I